Today, we're diving deep into one of the most important, but honestly, often misunderstood, ideological splits in the entire world. We're talking about the two pillars of power within Shia Islam. And trust me, this is way more than just a theological debate. It's a dynamic that is actively shaping global politics right now. So let's get right into it.
It's a fundamental question, one that has echoed through civilizations for centuries. Should faith simply guide a nation, or should it actually govern it? There's no easy answer, and that very question is right at the heart of what we're breaking down today.
And within Shia Islam, the two main answers to that question have created two incredibly powerful and, often competing centers of authority. Their influence is huge, stretching all the way from daily life in an Iraqi village to the highest stakes of global geopolitics.
All right, so let's start with the first approach, which has traditionally been the more common one, the quietist branch. And the name itself kind of gives you a big clue. This is all about influence, not about direct control.
So the core belief here, it really centers on a figure known as the hidden imam, or the Mahdi. The idea is that true, legitimate political power is reserved only for him when he returns. So until that day comes, the thinking goes, clerics should steer clear of the messy, corrupting business of politics and focus on what they do best, spiritual guidance.
So how does this actually play out in the real world? Well, the main hub for this is the city of Najaf in Iraq, and the leading figure is Grand Ayatollah Ali al-Sistani. Now, he's not a president, he's not a king, he's a spiritual guide. His job is to issue religious rulings and oversee these massive charitable networks. He advises, he guides, but he does not rule. That separation is absolutely key to the quietist way of thinking.
Okay, so now let's flip the coin completely. We're moving to the second pillar, which builds a very, very different model. This is the activist branch, and it sees running the state not as some kind of worldly corruption, but as a sacred duty.
This whole branch is built on a pretty revolutionary doctrine called Walayat al-Faqih, which means guardianship of the jurist. It was really developed by Ayatollah Khomeini, and it argues that, hey, in the absence of the hidden imam, the most qualified religious scholar actually has a divine mandate to govern. Their job? To make sure every single law lines up with Islamic principles.
And you can really see the difference right here. The centers of power are in Iran, in cities like Qom and Tehran. And the leading figure, Grand Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, he isn't just a spiritual guide, he is the supreme leader. He's the head of state with the final say on, well, everything, from the military to the media. It is a completely different universe from the quietist model of guidance without governance. So this sets up this fascinating real-world comparison between the two most influential figures in Shia Islam today. You've got Sistani on one side and Khamenei on the other, and they each represent a fundamentally different vision for what religious authority should even be. Now, if you want to understand the difference, you got to follow the money. That's the crucial part. Sistani is funded by private religious taxes from his followers all around the world. This gives him total independence from any single government. Khamenei, on the other hand, controls these vast, state-owned financial empires. And that one difference, one being independent of the state, the other being the state, it shapes literally everything else from their goals to their global influence. Now, you might be thinking this whole activist model just sort of popped up out of nowhere in the 20th century, but while the structure of this power is new, the idea of clerics getting involved in politics actually has much, much deeper roots. Let's take a quick look back. Yeah, this is a really important piece of context. It's so easy to just point to 1979 as the beginning of political Shiism, but that is not the full story at all. Clerics getting involved in politics, that's been happening for a long time. Just look at this timeline. All the way back in 1891, you had religious leaders organizing a national boycott that forced the Shah to cancel a huge tobacco deal with the British. Then in 1906, they were right at the center of a revolution demanding a constitution. But 1979 was different. That was the big shift. Activism went from being a temporary intervention to becoming the permanent system of government. It became the state itself. So why does all this matter to you and me? Because this is not just some dusty theological debate. The tension between Najaf and Tehran, between the idea of guidance versus governance, it's an incredibly powerful force that is shaping alliances, conflicts, and political movements all across the Middle East and way beyond. And at the end of the day, that leaves us with the big question that these two pillars are trying to answer every single day in their own way. When it comes to faith and the state, is the ultimate relationship a partnership or is it a rivalry? The answer is still being written, and it continues to shape our entire world.